Okay, good morning. So we're up to Siman Reshud Gimel Halacha Base. The halachas of Misha, being Motzi others in Brachos. So the Mechaber says in Sif Base, Ein hamavarech Motzi acherim elem kein yochel v'yishta imohem. That a person can only be Motzi another person if he's actually eating or drinking with them. V'az yotzim b'shmiosan shemechav neilov afilu lo yanu amen. And then if they listen and they have kavanah, then they are yotze by listening to the motzi, even if they don't say amen. So says the Mishnah Berurah Yudalet, very importantly, but birchas hanenin, we are talking dafka birchas hanenin. That's when the motzi has got to eat something. The dafka birchas hamitzvos shekol Yisrael arevim zeh b'zeh. But however, when it comes to birchas hamitzvos, where we invoke the principle of arvus, of kol Yisrael arevim zeh b'zeh, that each Jew is a guarantor for another one, is achroi for the other one. So if the other person has not performed the mitzvah, there's a lack in me. So for example, I've already heard shofar, but the other person hasn't heard, so I can make the bracha to be motzi him if they can't make the bracha or whatever, because it's a lack in me. I'm missing something. When it comes to birchas hanenin, she'ein chayv hamutla lov kasham mitzvahs, I don't have to have this coffee, I don't have to have this piece of cake. To lo lisaniv lo livarich, just don't get down on, don't make a bracha. And therefore, if I'm going to be motzi another person in birchas hanenin, I've got to, me the motzi, I've got to eat something, I've got to drink or whatever it may be. V'afilu meinim yotzim ba'atzmim livarich. V'zeh hasif shaykh bein lebracha rishona bein lebracha achrona. It's applicable both in the bracha rishona and the bracha achrona. V'ayin le'el b'siman kuf samach zayin sifyutes. Okay. V'oz yotzim b'shmiyason. V'im ein ha'eichel v'shoyse imohem. But if they're not eating or drinking with them, af v'di'ever lo yotzu. Because if I just stand there and make a bourbon in mazonos to be motzi somebody else and I'm not eating, then that bracha is a bracha levatola. Because I am not eating. And therefore, how would other people be yotze if my bracha was a bracha levatola for me? Even if they answer amen to the bracha, it doesn't help. Unless, of course, I made a bourbon in mazonos, I'm about to eat the cake. And something happens. So then in that situation, if I'm making a coffee, I may see somebody else who can't make a bracha, doesn't know how to make a bracha, and I make a shakom, then the coffee spills. Okay, that was an accident. But generally speaking, I've got to eat or drink in order to be motzi somebody else, a birchas hanenin, which we all sort of knew subconsciously. Okay. Shemechavnin Eilov, that they are listening and they have kavanah to be yotzi from my bracha. V'hu gam ken yechavan lotziyam v'chutakam misif gimel. And also, very importantly, the motzi has got to have kavanah to be motzi them. That's how it works. Afilu lo ya'anu amen. T'kaim alon shemer ka'ina v'hari hu k'mavarech ba'atzmai. Now that's the lomdus. So why is it? Say, for example, the person doesn't know how to make a bracha or is too tired to make a bracha, and I'm having a coffee and I say, okay, I'll be motzi you, listen carefully, and I make a shahakol. It's as if, Shemer Kohen tells me, it's as if they're saying the words. Now, this chaps enough gemina. Why? Because if you look at number 20, the first line there, because the person being yotze, it's as if they're talking. For that reason, he says, she'ein le'lanos baruch hu v'arch shemai. The person listening should not say Baruch Hu V'Arch Shemai Shema'ach Shemei Ka'ina U'Ka'im HaBracha B'Atzman, because as if he's talking, Yesh was a hefsek b'bracha. There's a hefsek if he says Baruch Atah Hashem and then he says Baruch Hu V'Arch Shemai. That's a hefsek in the bracha. So therefore, the person being yotzi should not make the Baruch Hu V'Arch Shemai. Olon b'diavad kosev sham she'ein lahachmir. If he did by mistake, it's ein lahachmir. I'll tell you where this is relevant. Baruch Hashem, for many years now, I'm on duty in Nei Yisrael on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. So before Tkiyas on Rosh Hashanah, I always most of the time I think, make a little announcement and to have in mind, and the person's going to be motzi, and you've got to have in mind to be yotze and listen to the Tkiyas, and the children should be held back, should be kept quiet, etc. But one of the things I say is that when the Baal Tekeh makes the bracha, you don't say Baruch Hu V'Arch Shemai to his bracha because of this svara. You just say Amen at the end. Okay. Let's carry on. So I'm second line into Yud Zayin. V'chol zeh le'inyan di'evet. That's all b'di'evet. Aval lechatchila, levad ma shemitzvah lanos omein al kol bracha shemeh misrael, because the Kama Simon Rishtes, Oidiyesi yeshchiv lechatchila lanos omein ve'bracha shemischav and not sispa. Here there's an even greater chiyuv to answer omein when someone is being motzi you. K'dei lahoidos b'poel, because you're actively confirming shemaskim lebirchas ha'mevarich, that you are agreeing to the bracha of the mevarich, and therefore the person being yotze should say omein. If many people are doing one mitzvah together, mitzvah lechatchila she'echad yivarech lekulam, that one person does it for all of them, to berova mahadras melech. V'ayin el involve b'shari tshuva sif kotten hey, v'simen ches sif hey mishnah bro, v'simen reish aliches b'tfuas shar simen yutes. So if you look at 23, although the Mishnah Berurah says over here that there are those people when lots of people are performing the same mitzvah, that one person should make the bracha for all of them, and it's Reivam Hadras Melech. However, in 23, which is all the way back in page 52, he says over there, he just says, Kos of Sham, he says, Sha'af she'yoseh tov she'echad yoseh chaver lo nagu kenachshav. That is not our practice, and rather each person makes their own bracha. And he says in Lechora, the reason is because that's the problem. The danger here is that people are not always aware that they have in mind to be yotza, or in fact the person making the bracha has in mind to be motzi them. So therefore the practice nowadays, despite Reivam Hadras Melech, the practice nowadays is that everyone makes their own bracha. Okay, Gimel. Ein yotze yedei chayvaso b'shmias habracha afilu yane amen. Elem kain sheshama mitchila v'ad soifa. You've got to hear the bracha from the beginning until the end. V'nischaven lotzis boydei chayvasoi, and you have in mind to be yotze. V'amevarich nischaven gam kein lo hitziyai yedei chayvasoi. So very important, when you are being motzi somebody else, whether it's a birchas ha-mitzvahs or whether it's a birchas ha-nernin, the person has to have in mind to be motzi, the people have to have in mind to be yotze, and you've got to hear the bracha from the beginning to the end. Okay, those are the rules. Says Mishnah Berurah Sifkot Yudches, B'shmiyak midastam mashma da'ach kol brachas koil. The Chayr is going on everything. V'afil brachas shem drabonon, but in davka shechav not says yidei mitzvah. Even brachas which are drabonon, for example, Megillah or something. V'chein mashma beyond bereish yutes sifhei. V'ayin le'elbasim and samach Mishnah Berurah Sifkoten Yud u'be'alocha sham u'b'simen reish ayin gimel b'sivov be'alocha diba maschel u'kagoyin. Mitchila vat soifa. He's got to hear from the bracha from the beginning to the end. V'hainu gam tevas baruch. Even the word baruch. Because that's the if a person leaves out the word baruch, that also messes up the bracha, because he's deviating from the matbeya shetovu chachamim, the coin which Chazal minted. This is the nusach, and therefore if it's me'ikar bracha. We'll see in the next Siman Hashem if he misses various other things. So that's the end of Siman Reishut Gimel, the brachas of being motzi and being yotze from a bracha.